Okay, Jim Howard here. I guess no. Well, I guess it's okay for the camera to be up there, and I can be down here with the headphones on. I haven't accomplished very much in the last few hours. Our cat's been bugging me every time I have a little bit of ice cream, and I have to give the cat the ice cream. Uh, our washer and dryer have been broke here for a while, so Darlene's trying to find because our arrangement was uh, she would take care of some items like that, with her money. We were sharing on the rent and that type of stuff, and then there's certain stuff, she buys more food. I'm not sure she does, but probably 50-50, but stuff like that. So uh, the understanding was uh, she would take care of when a big purchase came along, like a washing machine or a dryer or something like that. She'd take. So when the dryer went out, she just didn't. We just dried it some other way, and now the washing machine is basically dead. I mean, it runs, but it's it doesn't spin dry and that type of stuff. So she's looking at getting a dryer, I think, right now. And well, we've been divorced for over 40 years or whatever. But even when we were married, I don't think she had much faith or confidence or respect, maybe, for me. And tonight she's been talking about the dryer, I think it is. I'm not sure if it's a dryer or the washing machine she's working on. But and she's at her computer, and she really, I mean, I help her with the very basic things, that she has the internet and she can connect with it and that kind of stuff. And the rest she doesn't take my advice when it comes to how to make the screen larger or do stuff like that. She just doesn't, which is fine for me. I get out of more work that way. But she doesn't listen on some things. Now I'm 82 years of age. I have a lot of medical problems, a lot. And anyway, she was talking about how do we get rid of I think the dryer, or I don't even know. I try not to listen. But, I was 26 when we got married. And I was, let's see, be 26. We were married for 12 years. So 26 would be 30. Wait a minute, I forgot the first part, the second part. Let's see. 26, 32. No, wait. Oh, anyway, we were married for 12 years. And so there was, it's like, how would we get rid of the washing machine? I think it's a washing machine. I try not to listen. Because, but, well, how would we get rid of it? And I said, well, you can pay the company that delivers it. They'd probably take it or whatever. And then she, and then I said, well, if you would put it in the local message area that covers our, this message or whatever, I said, somebody probably would come, and pick it up for free, because that guy might be somebody who's handy and can, repair or use parts or whatever. And she's, And of course, I get called from my office. I don't call this my office, but she'll call me in to ask me something, and then a few minutes later, she'll call me and ask me again. She, uh, called me in there. Well, how would we find somebody to, and I said, I can, I said, we got a dolly here. I said, I can take it out to the trash, and she, well, of course, she knows what kind of, I have trouble getting my shoes on. My feet are swollen so bad. And when I have to try to put my shoes on, my blood pressure shoots up. My blood pressure shoots up even if any kind of an exertion, like putting shoes on or whatever, my blood pressure shoots up. Um, I've fallen a few times, um, all types of things like that. But then just a while ago, I said, I don't think we ever talked about this or discussed it or whatever, but you do know that I built things that were, larger than this apartment and moved them. I said, of course, there was an overhead crane that, whatever, and, but, I built railroad trains. I only a couple of times worked on a caboose. We didn't really, the place I was working, but the other, the coal haulers and that kind of stuff, I, uh, I worked on the entire, thing. Uh, Trucks that were you know, about the size of this apartment, it would be a three-man team, myself and two other people. That was we'd go out and get the steel, bring it in with the overhead crane, position it, and then we'd start welding on it, putting it together. And some trucks that we built, they were so large they wouldn't fit on a railroad, car or any other way. We'd have to actually build them, and then we'd have to take them apart so they could be shipped, and things like that. But I worked on an oil refinery in Pascagoula, Mississippi, I think it was. I forget now. I knew. I think I was getting less and less in the brain. But when I worked on that, no, it was not Mississippi. It was, oh, come on, where was that? Oh, I can't remember now. I think I was heading for Pascagoula, Mississippi to the shipyard. But on the way, I stopped in, let's see, where was the union office? What state was it in? Anyway, so I went out to the refinery, and myself and the others, all of us, we would climb up. And have you ever seen a refinery with the gigantic towers going up there? That was before OSHA. Let's see. Anyway, and then they didn't have the regulations. So I crawled up, like the other guys did, the side of the thing to get upstairs to get up to the top to weld. And now with occupational and safety and health, they came in later on, and there were rules, so that when you climbed up like that, you wore a vest. You had that you could hook on to the metal that we had welded on to, and you could go up with that with a vest around you and everything to do that. But when I did it, there was just you, going up. So, but anyway, who's the comedian that said that he didn't get into respect or whatever? Funny material, except it was true. Washing machine or dryer, if she doesn't find a company that will sell and then also pick up the old item or whatever she works out. I can take out the thing. I have a sort of a dolly. It won't be easy for me because I have trouble putting my shoes and socks on. I have fallen several times. My blood pressure goes up if I exert myself in any way. I'm having trouble seeing. There'd be it wouldn't be easy now. I'm 82 and going to be 83 in March. So, but whatever needs to be done, I'll get it done. So she's been looking at some, she's been looking at some really, really cheap, washers and dryers. But she was looking at one a while ago that looked okay. I think it was like $310 or something like that. I told her too, like on getting rid of the old thing, I think I mentioned this a little bit ago. I said, there are companies that will take it away for a small amount of money. Of course, she doesn't consider any amount of money small. And I said too, we have this local message. I think it's probably United States wide, but when you live in a certain area, you enter your information and you get messages in the surrounding area and whatever. And now I see an awful lot of people, that paid somebody to do something to their house, to paint it or do whatever, and the person never came back, or the person never did the work, or so you don't know what you're going to get. But you could pay somebody to do that, or I think probably for a washer or dryer, there would be people that would happily, take it for you, from you. Some of those things are pretty easy to repair. Now I can't, because the washer and the dryer, I could get them out of the place, but so far as but somebody else can take it, and maybe use a part out of it that they need and not have to pay for it, or they can, somebody could take it out and probably sell for our trash containers for this and for the other places around here, trash bins or whatever. People are going dumpster diving in those things all the time and taking out stuff that they're going to sell, in order to, I was out there one night about midnight. I forget why I was out there. Maybe, can't remember. I wasn't taking anything to the trash thing, but a guy got out, it was like midnight. Yeah. Now, that's dangerous, being in those, if you might get cut. I hope you've had a tetanus shot, stuff. But a guy got out and he said, because there's a gate there, and he just kind of popped out. I can't remember if he had his light on, or well, see, where's my light? I can't remember if he did, but he popped out kind of like, whoops. And he said, oh man, the people here, and of course, I guess he must have known I lived here, unless he thought I was there to do my own dumpster diving. Hang on here a second. He said, man, there's a lot of stuff. He says, there's such and such. I forget now what it was. But he said, do you want one or do you need one? And I said, no, I'm okay. And I have put some stuff out there, nice stuff, that some stuff was perfectly new. I I put it where they could find it easily, And there's a lady, well, a young lady or a young woman, who I think she is in the apartment complex across from us. That's a gated community too, and she comes over and she, gets stuff out on a regular basis. I haven't seen her in a while though. She, but I tell you what, she gets in there, and now, by the way, I wouldn't be able to get in there at my age now, climbing into it. I'd probably fall and couldn't get up, and they'd probably come and haul me away. But I've gone by before when she's been working, or, at night now, but, and she'll take stuff out that is not worth anything, not worth them. But she stacks it together, kind of gathers it all together, and then she looks for the stuff she's looking for, and then she gets out, and then she puts the stuff as neatly as she can back into the thing. So, let's see. I've been talking for 16 minutes. I found. Oh, by the way, I think I made a previous video a few hours ago saying that I couldn't find the second headset, and this one's a USB, and the other one is 3.5 jack for it. Anyway, I found it. It was right outside my bedroom door. This is my office bedroom. I don't know what, but right outside I had stacked some stuff up there to try to get the stuff together, because I've got a lot of stuff. I have given a lot of stuff away for free. I'm a river unto my people. That's from Lawrence of Arabia. I asked several times because that pops in my. I've said that, said that to a few people, I'm a river unto my people, or something to that effect. Lawrence of Arabia. So my mind is not totally gone. I've got a lot of work to do here, and I'm not sure if that video if I even uploaded that one. It's about three ones back or something. Because I was going to do, I'm at one monitor now. In the past, I've run 2 monitors and then go back to one monitor for a while, and that way. So I was going to hook up the second monitor, but then I hooked, up this one monitor, and it really looks good. And so I might still add the second monitor. But as long as this is, I see it's coming up on 4 a.m. I'm going to bring this to a conclusion. Let's see, may drag this over the way. Whoops. Let's see if I can see where to minimize this now. Oh, tell you another thing I need to do, because you keep telling me, is OBS. Never mind. That's not really funny. It's sad for me. What do they call it? Where you can go to this site, and there's a whole bunch of people who are experts, hopefully, in their area, and So I picked, you can, get them all prices really cheap, or, pay more, or you can pay somebody who's really good at it. I picked somebody that was supposed to be really good. Well, he was, I'm sure, but he was, trying to ask me how to, well, he wanted all this kind of stuff, Zoom and all these different things to work with me. And some things weren't working the way they should. And finally he looked frustrated or whatever, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm not much help. I said, if you want to stop now and rest and do this tomorrow or the next day. And he said, well, no, we'll keep trying here. And I said, or we could just quit. And he said, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And he said, I'm sorry, and everything. And the money is still, he's out of the thing. But what's it called? I have their, let's see, where would it be? I got so many sites indexed. Anyway, that company contacted me and said, we're sorry things didn't work out. Your money is here, and you can. I don't know if I could actually get it back. I wouldn't try to get it back, but I wouldn't mind having it on file, and then somebody come up and be able to. Because, I still feel sorry for this guy. Had to work, was trying to work when they got me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let's see. Well, okay. See, did I stop this yet? Okay, let's see. No, I did not. Okay. Stop recording. Stop recording.